Hey there, welcome to Child's View. I'm Sharon Brown. I'm here with my colleagues, Bernadette Towns and Becky Roth. Today we're going to talk about gardening with children. Woo-hoo. Gardening is one of my passions. I love to build fairy gardens and put little nooks and crannies in there where my grandsons and other children who come over to my yard can have fun peeking. But actually, gardening is a healthy activity for children in a number of ways. Not only are we wanting to garden to grow food, but it's also getting them outside, and it's very, very important to get them outside.
Yes.
So let's talk about what we can do outside and how we can garden with children.
All right.
So one of the things about gardening is that you can give children a responsibility for something alive. And they can take care of it at that moment, and it can be theirs. Oftentimes they want a pet.
Right.
It's not good to start with a pet. Okay, we want to start with a responsibility of having to water something, but if they grow it,
Right.
it's better. So I tell you a little story about the Child Development Center I was at. We had gardens, and we grew vegetables, and I've got some pictures of these children behind these huge cabbages, and all you can see are the little faces. These cabbages are huge.
And they grew them.
Nice. And then around the bike path, we had some tomato plants. And the kids would ride their bikes, and they'd stop, and they'd pick a cherry tomato, and they'd pop it in their mouth, and they'd ride on. And so we got them to eat things that they normally wouldn't eat. We grew snap peas and lettuce and cabbage and radishes and carrots and all of those things, and then we used them in the classroom with the children, so it was really fun. But we can do that at home as well. And I know people say they don't have room to garden, so my favorite thing is container gardens. So this is just a little box, and I've just done some container gardening in here. This could go into a child's room for them.
Nice.
I've got some pepper plants and some basil, but you could do a whole herb garden.
Yes.
And they're easy. They do well in containers. And so then you could use them in cooking with the children,
Right.
salads with the children.
Yeah, it segues into so many things. Health. Whole health component on eating well, and but also the whole life cycle. Growth and taking care of things, and I love this too, succulents. So they learn, different things need different kinds of care, right?
And for young children, succulents are really good.
Yes.
Because if they break them, they
Simple
continue to grow.
Yeah.
Oh. And if it breaks off, you just shove it in dirt, and now they have two plants.
I know.
The best of both worlds, right there.
Awesome.
So succulents are really, really good. So you talked about the life cycle, and probably every parent out there has seen this with their preschooler or their school-age children. They come home and they've got the cup with the beans in it. But this is important. This is important because when that bean or pea starts to grow, we see that the roots go down and the stems go up. And that it starts with a seed, and then the root, and then there's root hairs, and then the stem starts to go up, and then there's the leaflets, and then the leaves. And so what I do with these is when they actually do start to grow and the stem comes up, then we actually take that plant and plant it.
Wow.
And so it turns into a really nice little plant.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that we do at school, and parents don't often think about doing this maybe at home, but summer's coming up, you're going to have your children at home. So this is just the Ziploc bag with the wet paper towel. If you use beans or peas, they sprout quite quickly.
All right.
And if you put it in the window.
The whole bag?
The whole bag. You just zip it up. It's wet. You don't have to add anything to it now. Just put it in your window. The sun will come through. It will cause that bean to germinate, sprout, and then once they're germinated or sprout, then you can then plant them.
Right.
So these we don't often see at homes, but what a wonderful family activity, and then to transplant them. It's really, really fun to do. It gives children self-confidence too, to grow something and then have a product that comes with it. So this is another way to sprout plants. Now this comes from my favorite store, which shall remain nameless, that we know, but everything's $1. And so in here, these are just floral aqua gels or water beads, and you don't have to do anything except put a seed in there.
Wonderful.
And you add water to it, and water stays in there, and the plant will grow, and you will see the roots. You'll really see the roots. Now, I really like the clear ones, but they didn't have clear when I went. They had pink, and so I asked them to please order now. So get me some white ones because I'll be back. But that's a wonderful way of doing it. You've got your own container there with it, so it really works. But the other thing about gardening is that what else do children get out of it?
Yeah.
We've got some nice little creatures out here.
Yeah.
Children absolutely love it when you plant brightly colored flowers. Well, brightly colored flowers bring in insects.
Yes.
And so what I would do in my garden with all of the children at my center, my grandchildren at home, I give them magnifying glasses and headlamps or a flashlight.
Oh, fun.
And they get to pilfer through that, and they find grubs and worms. And I've got the cutest little picture of this little girl. She's got a whole handful of worms, just like holding it up.
Oh my gosh. Awesome.
And then snails. Of course, snails are my favorite. So I love it when they find snails and slugs and things. So it just gets them out in nature, and it gets them away from electronics.
Oh yeah. Which
Gets
is
them
so
away from
important.
electronics. We want them to do that. It engages all 5 senses of a child and you. It encourages healthy eating. I mean, these kids that were running by or driving by there and popping those little, and we talked to them about red tomatoes. These were red tomatoes. Gonna pop that red tomato, but they would it was amazing. And they just pop them in their mouth. We had strawberries, and they ate strawberries. So
I ate it.
healthy. I grew it. I ate it.
Science.
It enhances fine motor. It's science. It's a family activity.
Right.
You can do it on your patio if you live in an apartment. If you have some flower beds, it's easy to incorporate some nice herbs in your flower beds. They smell good. They do keep some pests away. So that's pretty good.
And I love flowers, so I would actually use my basil and my lavender, and that's what I put like in my bathrooms because it smells good and they live. Right, basil grows pretty well. Lavender grows really well. Anything that grows well.
Exactly.
I have a hard time. I'm working on it.
I was at another store that has a dollar aisle. You know, I'm all about the dollar thing. They had this cute little plant set.
Ooh.
Okay, but I'm so darn cheap. Who wants to do that? This is an egg carton. It's an egg carton, and it decomposes.
Wow.
And so you can actually. This is a compressed soil. You just put it in water in it. But you can use any kind of dirt. Put it in there. Water your little plants that are in each one of these things. Plant this whole thing. You don't even have to take the plants out of it.
You can just cut it here.
Cut the lid off.
Yep.
Plant this whole thing. The cardboard will decompose. You'll have a beautiful little garden right there. And this could be flowers. It could be, vegetables.
Herbs.
It could be anything that you want.
So what are you saying? Don't buy it. Just get your egg carton and get your dirt.
Don't
and
buy
do
it. Get your egg cartons. You got them. Get them.
Yeah. Or save them.
Save them. Save them.
Yeah, I'm just listening to you and I'm like ooh and ah because as a child, I grew up on the East Coast and it was a city, and this stuff was really foreign to me. In fact, it took me the first couple years in my house to know when the oranges were ready to be picked because I just didn't know anything about gardening or about growing plants. And so now, I've actually got a green pepper plant to live for a few years, but I think that sometimes we think, oh, everybody knows about this, but we don't.
don't.
And so it's
Right.
it's good to teach children when they're young.
Or we think that we don't have room
Right.
because we live in an apartment.
Right.
Right.
Or
Well, if you look
very
at,
small house.
like China, right? We went to
yeah.
visit. They have them on their rooftops now. They create
Yes.
gardens in spots you wouldn't think of. So you got to get creative.
Yes.
And different climates, different cultures. You maybe navigate or you know, different kinds of plants and different planting processes, and so
Right. And then, you know, me, I've got to connect everything I do with literature because I absolutely
gonna
love
say.
I love to read. This is one of my favorite little books. It's about a tiny seed and how it moves and how it goes from one place to another, all the things that help it travel there, and it ends up being a nice flower that's given from one person
Great
to the next.
book.
Like my flower. Right here. So again, this one is by Eric Carle, but there are a number of gardening
Yes.
books out there that are absolutely really good. Under One Rock is a really good book. And then Last Child in the Woods,
Right.
talks about nature deficit because we don't let children do this. We don't have room to do it. So takeaway. You can garden anywhere. It is important. It reaches all the domains of development for a child and you as adults. It's healthy, it's fun, and it's not electronic. So, thank you for being with us today on Child's View. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow us on
Instagram.
Instagram. And we hope to see you soon.